Do you want to know who the real Agent Argylle is?
Me! Hello!
What's up, Flick fans? Welcome back to the channel. I love Cat in the Hat. Don't judge me. Today we're talking Matthew Vaughn's brand new movie. It's Argylle, or Agent Argylle, or is a cat in your backpack? Let's do it. So a reclusive author who writes espionage novels about a secret agent and a global spy syndicate realizes the plot of the new book that she's writing starts to mirror real-world events in real time. That's freaky. This movie's rated PG-13. There's strong violence, action, language, everything you expect from a PG-13 blockbuster, and this is a big blockbuster. It was given a $200 million budget, so oh my god.
Why?
The cast is stacked. If you look on IMDb, Henry Cavill's the first name to pop up. Don't know why that's the case. He's not in the movie that much, but hey, there he is. Bryce Dallas Howard, Sam Rockwell, Bryan Cranston, who, like Cavill, is constricted by the script. Cavill just doesn't have a lot to do. Cranston is just kind of this very generic villain-type character, and he wasn't given a lot by the script, even though he has more screen time than Cavill. But I want to look at our two leads here. That is Sam Rockwell and Bryce Dallas Howard, who are both really good. Anytime it was those two on screen together, and they're just talking, now we're about to hit an action scene, or somebody's approaching Rockwell's character with a sword or something, yeah, you know it's about to get intense, but just those two talking, I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was engaging. And for me, Howard, who plays Elly Conway, her character is writing this book, and it revolves around Cavill's character of Argylle. And so you have that storyline happening, which isn't real, it's fiction, in the midst of this real world, as outlandish as it actually is storyline happening. But for me, the very short time that we got that fictional story and those fictional characters with the John Cena and a Henry Cavill, blah, blah, that was actually really cool. Those 20 minutes, if that, were the best 20 minutes, if that, of the movie. If that. Like, after seeing this happen on screen, I'm like, that's what I want Argylle to be. And then we cut to Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell, and it's cool when they're sitting and talking, but unfortunately, they're not doing that most of the time. They're going out on all of these little side quests and side characters, and so many things happening at once. This is one of the most convoluted, big-budget scripts I've seen in quite some time. It felt as if they gave Matthew Vaughn free reign to just do whatever he wanted to do. Hey, buddy, here's the keys. Drive the car. Vaughn is our director, our writer who had a hand in Wonder Woman. That's a great movie to be a part of, but also Pan and Ice Age Continental Drift, one of those. And the issue with this movie, it's the script. There are pockets of this film where I'm having a really good time. I love over-the-top, stylized action sequences. That's what Matthew Vaughn does best. And the best parts of his best movies are usually those sequences, and then the best parts of his worst movies, there are usually those sequences. There's a trend. But fortunately, these fights, and I'm talking the ones specifically happening in the real world in this movie, they are so over-stylized and just filled with CGI to where it almost covers up the really good choreography. I can tell there's great choreography in this film. And these action sequences, on their surface, are fantastic. I'm having a great time. But then you throw in all the layers and all of the things on top of it, and it just becomes a little too much. Overstimulated. My wife will say sometimes, if there's too many things happening, like baby's crying, music's going, I'm talking, she's like, I'm overstimulated. Everything needs to calm down. I felt her pain while watching this film because I felt that multiple times.
Uh-oh.
And it's infuriating because Matthew Vaughn can do it. Has done it. The first Kingsman, awesome. He has been able to thrive in the spy genre before, and, you know, not as big of a fan as the Kingsman sequels, but even those had somewhat grounded elements that were able to overcome the ridiculousness. I couldn't really find anything in this film that was able to overcome the insanity and able to, you know, get it back on track. And not that the movie has to be super grounded. That's not what I'm saying. But there has to be some consistency as to when that is happening, when this is happening, and things get in the way of these heartfelt moments with these characters, and, you know, being able to connect and emotionally attach yourself to the leads, which, again, really good when it's those two talking. I found that to be absolutely awesome. But you get all of these things that get in the way of that, and it gets more insane as it goes. And the whole marketing campaign, even though it was, I think, technically revealed like 4 or 5 years ago what the story actually was about. So if you remember the original post, You know who Agent Argylle is. But beyond that, this movie is trying to catch you off guard as it goes. And there may have been two moments where I'm like, okay, that caught me off guard. I really appreciate the twist there. But there's so many twists and turns all throughout this movie, and they continue to not catch you off guard as you go. And by the time you get to the end and there's supposed to be this crazy reveal, you're like, oh, no, that was predictable. And predictability, the fact that this movie is way too long and just over the top on a level that doesn't really allow it to flow. Now, it is going to allow people to have fun. Admittedly, I had fun multiple times in this film. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like that scene. I like that moment, but it's all overshadowed by a story that is just so choppy and insane, but not a good way. Then I mentioned the CGI. Look, the cat's a cute character. I love cats, and a lot of the marketing was invested in that cat, but it's so over CGI at points. It looked like a cartoon character living in a cartoon world, but it's supposed to be a real world, but kind of a cartoon world. Also, I tweeted, and somebody's in my replies like, Austin, you gotta hammer these movies, man. Why don't you hammer these movies? Hammer this film. Destroy it. If I truly hate it and despise it, fine. But if I truly hate and despise a movie, usually I'm just not even going to tweet about it because it's not worth my time tweeting. I'm not one that gets on Twitter. I'm just like, that's the biggest load of nonsense. I mean, who cares? Who cares that much? Genuinely. And then the same guy subtweets and he's like, hey, you got to have the balls to go all in on a movie. And I'm like, first of all, dude, that's what she said. Second of all, I've hated plenty of movies in the last year. My disdain should be obvious to you all because this is where we discuss that. This is where I can get angry. Just because I don't tweet something out and try to detonate a bomb on Twitter doesn't mean that I don't hate. It's insane. And I know what they're implying. They're implying, well, honestly, you don't want to upset the studios. Who cares? If I upset the studio, who cares? I don't care. I don't care.
This is a load of barnacles.
People on Twitter, man, they're always on one. Even if you don't, like, rip something apart, they're like, why didn't you rip it apart more? It's like, dude, can I win? Can I win? Anyway, before I give you my score, let me know your thoughts down below. Did you like Argylle more than I did? What is your least favorite Matthew Vaughn movie and your favorite? Comment that down below. And if you want to drop a like, that would be cool. Argylle is a lot. Matthew Vaughn thrives when focusing on these insane yet beautifully shot action sequences, but this specific story is all over the place. The biggest twists are obvious, and certain characters are wasted. Like I mentioned, good movie in there somewhere, and that somewhere is the Henry Cavill storyline. Again, Bryce Dallas Howard, she does what she needs to do, but I do believe the script fails her at the end of the day, and the pieces of this film that worked, they just weren't enough to come together and make it a cohesive product that for some reason is 2 hours and 20 minutes. No business being that long. Absolutely no business. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.